Merry Christmas! Thank you. It's still Christmas, you know? A lot of our world wants to say Christmas starts in October or November, and then it ends on the 25th, over like that. But we do it different in the church. We've got Advent. Christmas begins on the 25th, and we have 12 days until Epiphany. So Christmas will be over on Tuesday. For now, it is still Christmas, and we're going to sing our Christmas carols. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Christmas season. I know it can be a busy season sometimes, but I hope we all also found time to just breathe and reflect and rest a little bit. One of the ways my family relaxed was by watching a couple of movies over break. Anyone else watch movies? Yeah, fair amount, yeah. Anything good? Yeah, a few, all right. There's one on my list that I haven't seen yet. It's the new Knives Out movie called Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of nods. Apparently, it handles questions of faith and represents the church pretty well. And I've had multiple friends tell me, you've got to see it. And that's what we do when we see a movie we like, right? We want others to see it too, so we can talk about the story together. And we do that probably with most things that we get excited about, right? Come and see. One of my kids finishes a complicated jigsaw puzzle and wants to show it to me. Come and see, Mom, come and see. You discover a new restaurant and you want others to experience it too. You've got to come and see for yourself how good this food is. We've all done this before, right? But I wonder, have you ever been so excited about Jesus that you feel compelled to tell your friends, come and see? Now, wait a minute, you might say. We're Lutheran. We don't talk about our faith, right? But over the coming weeks, we're going to be hearing a repeated refrain of come and see as we journey with Jesus through the Gospel of John. We'll meet people who encounter Jesus and are so excited that they just have to invite their friends and neighbors to come and see for themselves. And my prayer for us in this season is that we too will encounter Jesus and get so excited that we just can't help but talk about it with others. Our text today begins with John the Baptist. Now, we first met him a few weeks ago when we read the prologue to the Gospel of John. John was sent from God to testify to the light that was coming into the world. And John, it appears, was doing his job pretty well. He had disciples who were following him and learning from him. And in the little section of John right before today's passage that we didn't read today, John sees Jesus and declares, "Here is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." And he explains that this Jesus is the chosen one of God. The next day, then, is where we pick up today. And John says again to two of his disciples, "Look, here is the Lamb of God." And we can imagine them saying, "Oh, well, if he's the guy, I guess we better follow him, right? We need to at least check this out." So they're walking behind him as he walks down the road, and there's this kind of funny scene here where Jesus turns around and looks at them like, what are you doing? Are you just creepy stalkers? Or, what are you looking for? It's a fair question. What are you looking for? It's one that bears reflection in our own lives, too. What are we looking for when we come to church? What are we looking for when we open the Bible or say a prayer? What are we looking for? It's easy enough to make following Jesus a fairly superficial thing, and I think that's why he asks the question. It's like following people on Instagram, right? We'll check out their content, but if it doesn't seem interesting enough, we'll just keep scrolling. What are you looking for? Now, the disciples have a really curious answer. They don't answer his question. They say, "Where are you staying?" Is that just like the first thing that popped into their mind? They got nervous and was like, how's that Holiday Inn down the road, Jesus? Do you like it? Is that a place we could recommend to our out-of-town family? I don't think that's actually where they were going with that question. Especially because that word that's translated staying, in where are you staying, it's translated elsewhere in the gospel as abiding. Like, abide in me. My words abide in you. Abide in my love. We'll hear all those phrases later in the Gospel of John. So much about this gospel is about learning where God abides with us. So where are you staying? Where are you abiding, Jesus? Is it a place of despair or a place of hope? Do you live in a place of hate or a place of love? Is it a place that we would want to be? And Jesus senses their curiosity, and he doesn't lay out 10 points of doctrine or teach them a sinner's prayer or anything like that. He simply says, "Come and see." And there it is. It's so simple and yet so powerful. To be a follower of Jesus and to know where God abides is not an abstract idea. It's not a theology to be memorized. It's a reality to be experienced. It is a way of life, and you can only know it by going and seeing it for yourself. So they follow him to the place where he is staying, and they stay in that place as well. They go in and they sit down and they experience Jesus' place for the afternoon. That place of hope, that place of love, that place that is for them a real encounter with God. And they realize this is the Messiah. One of them, Andrew, is so excited about this that he has to go and tell his brother Simon. He says, you've got to meet this guy, and he brings him to Jesus. Jesus takes one look at Simon and says, "I'm giving you a new name. You're going to be Peter," which translated into English, that means rock. I'm assuming that Jesus perceived Simon to be steady and solid, like a rock, right? And not that Peter looked like Dwayne Johnson. But regardless, Simon Peter has this experience of being seen and known for who he was. Now, the next day, Jesus finds Philip, which is an interesting word to use. It's not that Jesus sees Philip randomly walking down the street. He finds Philip and invites him to follow him. And then Philip finds Nathanael and says, "We have found him who Moses and the prophets wrote about." So there's a lot of discovery here, a lot of finding of one another. He continues, "His name's Jesus, and he's from Nazareth." And Nathanael famously is skeptical. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Insert West Virginia joke here, I guess. I mean, we all have biases against other places that we think are backwater or no good. And in Pittsburgh, it was West Virginia. And so I apologize because I've come to find out West Virginia is a fantastic place and does not deserve it. But we make these assumptions about the places that people are from and what they must be like. And that's what Nathanael does. And Philip doesn't bother to even try to make a reasonable argument against Nathanael's prejudice. He simply says those powerful words, "Come and see." And when he does, Nathanael too has this experience of being seen and known by Jesus. So Jesus is assembling this group of disciples, and they all get there in slightly different ways. 2 people follow because they're curious. One comes because his brother invites him. One gets a direct call from Jesus. Another is skeptical, but goes along anyway. There are different ways to get there, but always in that abiding place, there is a deeper relationship to be found. They are found, they are seen, they are known. Jesus shows them the beginnings of what an authentic relationship looks like, a more real way of being human with one another. It's not just looking from the outside, it's really engaging. And that phrase, come and see, could lead us to think we're just going to stand back and watch, right? But Jesus invites us into something more. Reminds me of a story from Bill Bryson. He tells the story of a visit he made to Hannibal, Missouri, which is best known as being the site of Mark Twain's boyhood home. Bryson relates being kind of disappointed with his visit, even though the site purports to be a faithful reproduction of the original interiors of the house. Bryson writes he doubts that young Samuel Clement's bedroom had Armstrong vinyl on the floor, or that his sister's bedroom had a plywood partition in it. And actually, he couldn't even go in the house. Instead, visitors look through the windows while a recording narrates what would have happened in each room. Bryson sees another tourist and asks him what he thinks of the place. "Oh, I think it's great," the man said. "I come here whenever I'm in Hannibal, 2-3 times a year. Sometimes I go out of my way to come here. This is a real shrine, you know?" Surprised, Bryson asks the man, "Well, would you say the house is just like Twain described it in his books?" "I don't know," the man said thoughtfully. "I've never read one of his books." We chuckle, but there is a temptation to treat our faith like that as well. We enjoy visiting the shrine, but we never really read the writings. We've heard from others that following Jesus is a good thing to do, but we end up being satisfied with a superficial view from the outside, or satisfied with a cheap facsimile of faith. Jesus in the Gospel of John calls us to something much deeper, and we'll spend these coming weeks exploring that. What are you looking for? Come and see. Where do you abide? Come and see. Is there someone you could invite to come and see? Whether you're here this morning because you're curious, or because someone else invited you to come, whether you're here because you've been called by Jesus, or you're skeptical, but you're here anyway, come and see. Come and see.